This video will walk you through some of the features and most commonly used icons and functions of the Enhanced Rich Content Editor in Canvas. So what I've done is add a new page to my Sandbox course to play around. And so far in the editing space, I have added a bunch of text, mostly as talking points so that I remember all of the different things that I want to share with you today. You'll notice that the Rich Content Editor looks much more similar to a traditional word processor, and that you have a combination of different buttons and icons across the top, in addition to some drop-down menus, which we didn't see in the old Rich Content Editor. Most of these features in the drop-down menus are also found and embedded within these different buttons and icons, so it comes down to a personal preference and how you want to access those resources. Before we walk through those, I also want to draw your attention down to the bottom right corner. There is an accessibility check where you can click on this button and it will notify you of any features or text or links that you've added into your editing space that would not be accessible through accessibility technology. So that's really kind of a nice check. And then here are kind of the buttons that you'll probably be using most frequently. These little carrots here are going to take you to the HTML editor, which used to be found in the top right corner, but now it's in the bottom right corner. So if you dabble in the HTML editor, it's now going to be found in the bottom right corner, but you can toggle back and forth between HTML and the rich content. In addition, there's also a full screen button, and so if you click this, it expands your whole editing range, which is a huge improvement from the small window that we've been working in previously. So now I still have my drop-down menu and all of my icons and such to kind of select from. To get out of this, I just have to press my escape key on my keyboard once, and it will return me to the traditional Canvas window. If I click on this cluster of 8 dots here, it kind of looks like a domino. If I hover over it, you get a double-sided arrow. And if you click, you can drag to expand that editable region without going to full screen mode. Now let's play around with some of the features to make sure that we know where to find the different editing features that we use most commonly. To start with, I have pitch on my list, and so pitch is just how we adjust the size, and so you can go pretty small down to 8 point all the way up to 36, and so just to kind of give you a preview of kind of some of the size range that you can select from. To format the paragraph here, this is where you can select some different heading options. So anytime you want a subheading, you may kind of select these, and it keeps kind of consistent formatting across all of your resources. So these are two great functions here, but just as before, you can select your text. This B is for bold, the I is to italicize, the U is to underline, and we can also change the color of our text. It has some default colors here. You can also go to the palette to select a custom color, and then this red line is just kind of like a strike through to show that it's removing the color. So let's go with purple for this one, and now you can see that the text is purple compared to the standard black. The highlighter is just kind of your background behind the text. So here, if I wanted to highlight something as important, it can highlight that background behind the text. And then the text button here allows you to kind of do some subscript options, or you can kind of click it again to get the 2 on the top that would make it into a superscript. Beyond that, we have some buttons that allow us to kind of insert other things besides just manipulating the text. And so the first one is this chain link. So if I wanted to insert a link, I can highlight the text that I want to become a hyperlink and then go to this dropdown, and an external link or a course link are going to be my 2 options. The external link is going to be where we can copy and paste a link for somewhere else. So let's say we wanted to link our students to the D155 homepage. So if I go to that page, click up to select I'm going to copy and paste that link from the Omnibox and then head back and copy and paste that into my link button. And when I click done, now we'll see that this text has become a hyperlink. So when students are viewing this, they'll be able to click directly to that website by converting the text to a hyperlink. The second option under that chain link button is to link to course content. This is a really great way to connect all of the pages within your course. So for example, if this was kind of our weekly overview page for a module, or maybe a calendar page or something that you have all the assignments listed out, it's really convenient not just to list it, but to hyperlink it for students. So if you have something built out elsewhere in the course, you can select it as a link. And instead of linking somewhere outside of Canvas, we're going to link somewhere within our own course. So this is where I can go through, and it is going to provide me options to kind of select all of the different assignments, pages, and different things that we want to link to. So I'm just in my Sandbox course, so we're just going to link to, in this case, a module. So now if students were to click on that text, it would take them directly to that module without having to go to their modules tab. Same thing with any assignment, any quiz, any discussion board. It's just a really nice way to make your course really accessible and user-friendly to students. Now, to insert an image, we're going to go to this next little icon that's like a little photograph picture. And if you do the drop-down menu, you have some different options. You can find images that are uploaded in your course or on your computer. And then really, you're probably going to default to the upload image anytime you have something new to upload. And when you go here, you have quite a lot of options now. We still have the URL. If you have a URL to an image, you can paste it here. You now also have direct access to Unsplash. And so Unsplash is just a free use image search that would allow you to kind of come in here, click in a search term, let's say recess, and it will pull up some different images potentially that you could use that don't have any copyright restrictions. Most of you will probably go to the computer where you can upload directly from your drive. What I like is that now you can just drag and drop to insert something in, or you can click in to select an image that you'd like. So I've been working in some of my forensic stuff, so I'm just going to grab one of these glass pictures that's shattered. And then it's always good practice to include some alternate text when you're inserting an image. So I'm going to include or select embed the image and then click submit. And now it's going to insert in my image right below. It could potentially be pretty big depending on the size. If you click on the image, a new kind of prompt will come up at the top of that, which you can click on. And now you have auto size scaling, which we didn't really have before. So custom is going to come in as the original image size, but now you can kind of click. So I don't need a very big image here for a sample. So I'm going to click a small one and then click done. And now we can see that it's right in line with my text, and I have the ability to see everything else kind of around it. And the other thing that's kind of nice about the Enhanced Rich Content Editor is that when you click on the image, you can always go back to these image options. So if you change your mind and want to alter the alternate text, or if you want to scale the image to a custom size, if you go back to custom, you can kind of click and manipulate and change this. So if I want it a little bit bigger, let me go back. So if I want it a little bit bigger, it's going to keep the same aspect, but maybe instead of 150 pixels, I'm going to go 200, and it'll automatically kind of calculate that aspect ratio on the side. So now when I click done, my image is going to be ever so slightly bigger. So that's how we can insert an image. When we go to insert media, it's going to be this next little button. We have a music note and a little playback screen. And just like before, we can upload our media. by dragging and dropping things that you've pre-recorded through Screencastify, WeVideo, any of those tools if you've downloaded it to your computer, or you can pull it in from your drive. And you also have access to kind of the in-house Canvas media recording tool, just like we did before. So you can click here and hi everyone. This is going to allow you to record or use your webcam or just a audio only, and you can click start and then it would embed right away. So the next one, if you hover over this document, it's going to allow you to insert different documents. This is going to allow you to upload things if you had them as a file on your computer. A lot of us are now working with our Google Drive, so our docs, our sheets, our slides, all of those things are kind of where we want to pull from. So instead of uploading the document from our computer, we're actually going to go to this kind of plugin feature, which is all of our external apps. For now, what we have loaded in here for everyone is access to your drive through Google Apps, as well as YouTube. So I'm going to show you how to insert in a Google document first. I'm just going to add a little bit of space here for me and go back to my drive. It'll take a second to load, but again, it's going to seamlessly pull and connect from your drive so that you can insert. You can scroll through your folders or find what you need. I have a sample Google Doc here that we can embed or link. So the link will insert it as kind of a hyperlink text, or embed will kind of push it out and have it embedded nicely into your page. So students, it saves them one additional click. So you, as the editor and owner of that document, have access to edit within that document as well. Again, students will only be able to view it. So the next thing then is to insert in a video, which is also one of those external tools. So if I had a video in YouTube that I was interested in, you can go into this external tool app and search in for a specific video. So what I like to do is find the video in YouTube and copy that link. And then I go back and I put that link into the search box and paste it, and then it just helps me get to it very quickly. And then you have some options in this drop down. You want it to be small, medium, or large, so you can play around and kind of see how big you want the video. I'm just going to go small for right now, so it'll kind of be almost like a little thumbnail image. So now students would be able to click on this video, watch it directly embedded in this page. All right, so the next thing on my list is how to insert and edit a table. This is one of my favorite features to use when building out a page. It kind of helps me organize the page or organize data and different text and information. So it has this little square box with different cells inside. We're going to go here, and if you hover into table, you can select, kind of like in a Google Doc, how large you want your table to be. So I'll go with a 3x3 box, and it's automatically going to scale it to fit the size of my screen. You can kind of adjust that by dragging the corner to change your table size or the size of the cells within that table. And at any time, notice if you click out of the table or click into the table, other options appear at the top. So if you hover over them, it will tell you kind of all the different things. This X is going to delete the table altogether. You can add a row above, below, or delete the row altogether. And then same thing with the columns. You can add a column to the left, like before, after, or delete a column altogether just by clicking these buttons pretty quickly. If I were to type in some various text into some of these cells, I can also then edit the cells through the properties. So this button will take you to the table properties. You also have access to a lot of the properties through the icon drop down here. So in this particular cell, we can go in and change some features in terms of whether we want the text within that to be vertically aligned. Maybe you want it in the center of the cell instead of positioned up towards the top. And you can also center the text with the horizontal alignment here. It's kind of hidden away, but underneath general properties, you can click on advanced. And this is where you can change the background color of that cell. So if you know a hex code, you can type that in here, or you can click, right now it's transparent. You can click in here and select any of your colors, or you can pick a custom color. So if I click on, we'll just do this one green and click save, it changes the background of that cell, which can be really nice for doing headers or highlighting important information, certain cells within your table, but you can do all of that through this drop down menu here. The other thing is merging different cells. So if I wanted these two cells to be the same and merge them, I can do that as well by going to, again, the cell, and then there's your merge cells. So now these two are one. And if I ever change my mind, I have to go back to cell properties and split those merged cells apart so that they will be two separate cells once again. Next thing is inserting an equation. This is we have a little square root icon here to insert a math equation. You can type it in and it will populate as a static image within. So I'm going to go very basic here for my sample equation, and you can insert it. And it's automatically in this equation format. And you can notice if you click on it, it's just a static square image. But you can double click on this or click on the edit equation that appears right at the top to go back in and edit it. So once you create it and insert it, you're not locked in if you need to change your mind or if you make a typo. You can also switch the view to advanced if you would rather type in LaTeX. Last thing on our list is to embed various things into our page. And so you can embed all sorts of things like a YouTube video, a document, but you may come across other things on the internet that you'd like to pull into your Canvas course. And so to embed it, we're going to go to this little cloud icon here. And it's just looking for you to put in some code. So to do that, I just found a random little GIF here for you. So you got this. We're going to go to the embed code link here. So you just have to select all of it and copy it, and then you'll paste it into this space and click submit. And there it is embedded inside. I mentioned as we went through all of these different buttons up here across the top that all of these options are also found in the drop-down menus if you prefer using those or you're more comfortable with them from your word processing days. But you'll find that a lot of the features are exactly the same. So under this table drop-down menu, these are the same exact options that were found under this table menu over here. And then the tools will take you to those external apps. Formatting is all of the text, different features that we played around with before. But it's all here, inserting your links, your image, your media, and your documents. All of these are, exactly the same as what you find here, your links, your images, your media, and your documents, as well as some of these other items. But I hope that helps get you started and helps you feel a little bit more comfortable with how to find things within the enhanced rich content editor. This is something that you had the option to toggle on in your course settings this semester, but starting next semester on January 1st, will be the only rich content editor available on Canvas. It's a new feature, it's being rolled out, and we hope you enjoy it.